So, it's been a little while since I've made a video on this channel, hasn't it? I mean, I've uploaded a few random things over the last few years, but I really haven't made anything serious on here since about 2016, which, if you can believe it, is already 8 years ago. Feels like a different moment in human history, doesn't it? But I wonder if anyone is still here who remembers the old days of the Suddenplant vlogs. Now, for those of you who don't know, from 2010 to 2016, I used to be a relatively frequent vlogger here, and I used to update, make little updates about my life and things I was thinking and feeling and, hopes and dreams and things like that. And if you do remember those videos, you might notice that they are all gone now. Well, the videos aren't actually gone. They are set to private, which means they still exist in this YouTube space. They just can't be seen by anyone. And I don't know if I've ever addressed the reason why they were set to private. But basically what happened was there was a comment that really struck me as being accurate as to what was happening with all those videos. I don't remember who said the comment or on what video it was, and I don't think the comment still exists anymore because of, the way comments tend to thin out over the years. But this comment basically said, "You're just talking about the same things over and over without actually doing anything." And I realized this person was right, basically, and that all these videos were really just kind of dumb because I wasn't actually doing the things that I was saying that I wanted to do, and it was just pointless. The whole thing was really pointless. So after a while, I set all those old vlogs to private. Also, I'm editing this video quite heavily so that you don't see all of the long pauses and things. And, lack of editing was another thing that made those old videos drag. So I thought I might give a mini update, a super, super mini update, because, there's always plenty going on, but if you can believe it, nearly my entire 30s have passed since I was an active vlogger on here. I'm 38 years old. I'm going to be 40 in 18 months. Don't have a lot of, anxiety or angst over turning 40 itself. It is kind of staggering just to think about just how much time has passed just in life in general. The fact that I was 23 when I started Bone Canoe 86, and I was 24 when I started Suddenplant, and now I'm 38. It's quite a thing. But what have I been up to during all this time? Well, I can't decide whether to say it's a long story or if there's not much of a story. Because, a lot has happened, but also, not very much has happened. I mean, if you look at my old videos, and I'm sure there's still some on here from years back that I have not taken down, where, you can see I'm in the same spot that I've been in for the past 10 years, 11 years actually. The same wall, the same rack, I guess. So you could say, in terms of life progression, not much has happened. But just in terms of, the ways in which I've changed and the ways in which things have happened, a lot has happened. And I don't know how much to say anymore. When I was younger, meaning in my 20s, I believed in this thing I used to call radical honesty, where I wanted to come on here and be absolutely honest about what was in my heart, what I wanted, what I desired, the things that affected me and what I thought. And I still think that was a very noble thing to do and to believe in. But there's pitfalls to that, of course. Putting your heart out there does open you up to get hurt, but that really didn't happen. So that's not really what the problem was. It's just that, I don't know, the longer that you're alive, it seems like the more complex things get. And the more difficult things are to explain and to understand. And not just that, but you start developing in ways that you don't want to share, you know? Or at least that's the development path that I've been on. There are many things that are in my heart, many things I believe, many things that are very meaningful to me that I will not share with not just a YouTube audience, but even with people that are close to me. And that's just the way it is. And I think each and every person watching this has at least one thing, if not several, that they would feel the same way about. So I don't think that's really unusual at all. You might also remember that in 2015, 2016, I had a political series called The All, which I really did enjoy doing back in the day. But the thing is, like, my political beliefs have evolved in such a way that if I was to actually talk about that, I would get kicked off YouTube. So I don't talk about politics anymore, and I won't, except in the most dispassionate, disconnected, trivial ways, if at all. Like, you know, we have an election going on, and basically I enjoy watching this basically as sport, as pro wrestling. Like, politics in America is pro wrestling for really ugly people, and I can enjoy the thing as I can enjoy the spectacle of it without feeling invested in it, because I think both sides are equally fake, equally vacant, and equally evil. So I really have no stake in wanting one side or the other to win this election or any other election, so I can just enjoy the spectacle. But I'm not going to talk about the spectacle. I'm not going to talk about politics. That is something that I don't think I'll ever do again on this channel, and probably nowhere else either. So, what are some of the big things that have happened that I can talk about? Well, unfortunately, I have to drop the worst news right now, and that is that my father has passed away. This happened in April, and it came about as the result of a 2-year battle with brain cancer. Now, it's been a little over 3 months now. I have gone through various cycles of feeling different ways during his, illness and death and post-death. And I think I want to make a video talking about it at some point, about the story of it from when we first found out that he was sick to when he died, because he had stage 4 glioblastoma. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it is pretty much the most serious brain cancer you could get. It is 100% fatal, and many people don't last more than a few months with it. John McCain died of this, Neil Peart of Rush died of it, and now my father has died of it. So, pretty much from the moment he was diagnosed, he was a dead man walking. And it took almost 2 years, just shy of 2 years, until he eventually died. And I think I do want to talk about that, but I will not elaborate on that in this video. So, yeah. And other than that, I can't tell you how many jobs I've had since 2016. Actually, I can. Hold on, let me count. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's not like a huge number. So, I haven't hopped around too much, but, 5 jobs in 8 years is still a significant number. So I've had a number of different jobs. Some I've enjoyed more than others, some which lasted for multiple years, some which only lasted for a few months. none of which I'm going to go into detail about. I have also had somewhat of an evolution in my personal habits. I think the biggest thing that has changed in terms of my habits between back then and now is I've become a much more outdoors person. I mean, I've always kind of liked hiking and biking and things like that, and I have taken up hiking and walking in a big way. Like, very often I'll just go out and rip a 9-mile walk like it's nothing. I just do that. I have many parks that I like to visit, and a lot of towns I like to visit. That's another thing. During the COVID era, I got into the habit of just picking a town out on the map and going to it. As many of you know, I'm from Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and over the last 4 years, I've been to pretty much every town in Bucks County, Montgomery County, Mercer County, New Jersey, Hunterdon, Burlington, any county, any area that's within like an hour of Lower Bucks County. I've been there. I've walked around. I have my favorites. It's just been a very rewarding thing. So other than that, there haven't been really too many external changes in my habits. I have a boat friend now. I know a guy who has a boat at the shore, and I like to go on that boat a lot and swim in the bay. So there's a development. Yeah, in all, becoming more of an outdoor person has been the biggest development in terms of habits. But really, I don't have too much else to say about what's gone on. I did have this idea, and I am curious to see if anyone would be interested in this. So, like I said, I still have all those old vlogs set to private on here, and I don't intend to bring them back. At least not all of them, and at least not right away. But one thing I did think about doing was going back and just sort of reacting to my old vlogs. Reacting to those videos from 2010 through 2016. And, just seeing what's changed. What I remember from those time periods. What surprised me. What I think I disagree with my former self on. The things I don't remember. The things I do remember. I think that would be interesting, and I might want to try that. So let me know in the comments if you would like to see that. I think I'm going to try at least one or two of those. And if those go well, then I will do more. So yeah, that's about it. So if you were around in the days of the original Suddenplant vlogs, what if you just drop a comment about a memory or something? Just something that you remember, or an impression that you got, or just any kind of thought that you had from those days, if you have one at all. I mean, if you've forgotten all about it, that's, perfectly understandable. I'm just some dick on the internet, right? And stories of my life from a decade or so ago, who cares, right? I don't expect anyone to remember. But if you do remember, if you do have a thought or an impression, just go ahead and put it in the comments. Well, that's it. I have at least two things I'm going to be coming back and doing. The video talking about my dad, and at least one reviewing an old vlog. So, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you again very soon.